16th Rotary Club of Louisville meeting. I am Barbara Sexton Smith. I am your current Rotary Club of Louisville president, and also I get to serve at the mayor's pleasure as the interim CEO of the Bella Louisville Riverboats. And the script says I'm supposed to tell you that I'm a major donor. So thank you, and thank you to all of our donors in this room. I would like to ask everybody, let's take just 10, 12 seconds here. Turn off all your devices that make noises, your watch, your phone, your iPad, whatever else you have, if it's making noises. And that includes your non-electronic devices. That would be how we talk with one another. So I have received an incredible amount of instructions and great advice from a whole lot of our former best darn presidents you've ever seen of the Rotary Club, and they each have given me tips to share with you. They've each given me so many, I can share a couple every week, possibly. But the number one request that came in is, would you please tell everybody to not talk during the meeting? So I'm sharing that message so those of us like me who are a little bit hard of hearing can be able to focus on our speaker. All right, providing our invocation today is going to be one of our fellow Rotarians. I'm inviting Jasmine Presley. Jasmine is the founder and CEO of the Presley Post. Jasmine?
Thank you. Let us pray. I'd like to start by expressing gratitude for the gift of a new day, the opportunity to gather, and the health and ability to serve. We give thanks for the hearts of service represented in this room by Rotarians who are committed to improving our communities. We ask for wisdom and discernment as we make decisions that impact businesses, neighborhoods, and future generations. And today, as we learn more about economic development, we pray that our city creates opportunities that are ethical, sustainable, and beneficial to all members of our community. We ask for this and many blessings over this meeting, the connections made, and the work that follows. Amen.
All right, next I would like to invite to the podium Sarah Hugenberg, and it is spelled Huggenberg. I learned that today. And Sarah is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the four-way test. She is the relationship strategist at PNC Bank, and Sarah also is the new chair of the Rotary Club of Louisville Speakers Committee. For those of you who've been around a long time, some of you may call that the program committee. And so Ashley Brower has agreed to stay as vice chair. So all those great speaker recommendations y'all been giving me, you can give to Sarah. Sarah?
Thank you, President Barbara. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it promote goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Fellow Rotarians, everyone, you may have a seat now. And my fellow Rotarians, if you have a guest with you today, I want you to come to the microphone right over here, line up behind Ashley Brower, and introduce your guest. First, tell us your name, then introduce your guest and give their name, their position in their organization, and the name of their organization. Once again, your friendly reminder, no speeches and no commercials for your guests. Just let us know who they are. Ashley?
Thank you, President Barbara. I'm Ashley Brower with Max Strategic Communications. My guest today is Sam Corbett. He is the Executive Director of the Kentucky Exposition Foundation.
All right, thank you. Welcome, Sam. And when your host starts introducing you, I hope you recognize them. I want you to stand up in your chair and stay standing until your introduction is complete.
Good afternoon, Madam President, fellow Rotarians. I'm Anne-Marie Word with Real Clean Aircraft Detailing, and my guest today is Lindsay London, Chief Consultant and Coach with Impact Sales Systems.
All right, thank you.
I'm Mary Ellen Harnan, and I'm very pleased to welcome a new person to Louisville, moved into our condo. And we found out quickly not only is he a Rotarian, He is the current president, Barbara, of the Rotary Club of Beaufort, North Carolina, Rotary Club. We're happy to have you here, and I think we'll see him here part-time in North Carolina, Barbara. So,
All right.
Jim.
All right, that's Beaufort, not to be confused with Beaufort, South Carolina, right?
You're correct.
Okay, thank you. Hello?
Hi, I'm Andrew Bates, and I'd like to introduce Ian Cox, who serves with Colonel Ginger Wallace and I on the Belknap Neighborhood Association and worked for the Kentucky State Fair Board until recently with our speaker. And I'm not sure his job title, but he's some kind of public information communications dealer.
All right, thank you so much.
Good morning, most esteemed President Barbara. I'm Ken Euler, and my guest today is Ron Gohagen over here. Ron is a former lobbyist, Bell South person, and just rolled off the, I dare say, UK Board of Trustees. Ron Gohagen.
Welcome. Ron, we're glad you're here. Oh, hi. All right, thank you.
Hello, Rotarians. I'm Chelsea Ellis Hogan with Jim Reynolds Asphalt. I have two guests today. First guest is Chris Watkins. He's the owner of Stella's Venue, as well as Drift Louisville Boat Rental. So he specializes in the entertainment and the event venue space. Second guest will be arriving here shortly. Her name is Jordan Mason, and she is the founder and creator of Studio George Productions. So it's a creative production company, as well as she has 12 years of experience in brand strategy, creative direction, and event production. So she's done work with like Jim Beam, Toyota, Louisville Tourism, and Kentucky Derby Museum, just to name a few.
Okay, and she'll be here shortly. Jordan, thank you so much.
President Barbara Kent Salvaggi, my guest is my wife Ann, visiting us for the last time as she prepares to head back to school. She's been a long time school teacher, one of the best darn school teachers ever.
Welcome, Ann. All right, so I want to thank all the guests for coming. You make our clubs that much more enjoyable and lively. And at the end of this meeting, when I ring the bell for the last time for today, all of our guests, if you all will find your way over here to the What is Rotary table, I promise you there's a very quick 5, 6, 7 minute explanation as to what the heck all these people do and why are they all so happy and on fire and talking about service above self with a pledge and a 4-way test and so forth. You'll find out. And there'll come a day, my friends, our guests, you'll be glad you did. I think Craig Sherman is over there, Kent Euler, Deline, and oh my Lord, Lacey Smith is sitting at the What is Rotary table. Okay, all right. Thank you all so very much. All right, now, of those suggestions and recommendations, Erica, I've been given, one was, please recognize the birthdays. So here's what we're gonna do. When I first was introduced and joined Rotary, every single meeting, the entire group stood up and sang happy birthday every single meeting. We're not doing that. All right. Wait a minute. Half the room moaned and half the room clapped. I'm not sure what to do here. Henry, we're not singing, buddy. We're gonna just recognize on the screen. Here we go. Happy birthday. These would be Rotarians whose birthday was from July 1st up through where we are through July 22nd. Because starting next week, my goal is to just do them 1 week at a time. All right? You got it? Let's roll them. Barry Allen, Greg Ross, Cliff Elgin, happy birthday. There are a whole bunch more. Where are those names? I'm not sure. I'm not clicking the screen. Okay. We didn't do a dry run through on this. There are 17 birthdays. Here's what I'm going to do for all the birthdays from July 1. I'm announcing this publicly. From July 1 to July 22nd, I'm going to handwrite a birthday card, drop it in the mail since I forgot to put it on the screen because they're letting me do some of the screen and, you know, Henry, I'm just not real good at that part. All right. Happy birthday, everybody all together now. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Okay, now, one more thing we want to do, Rotarians in the Spotlight. Y'all were killing it this last week or so. I don't know if everybody saw the news, but Rotarians in the Spotlight, Alyssa Gray, she has been added to the leadership Kentucky class for 2026. She is our CEO of the Kentucky Humane Society. Then behind that, we've got Craig Mooney, our best darn president-elect. You thought I was going to make a mistake right there. All right, Craig Mooney and then Rotarian Daniel Lawson, they have been appointed and named partners of Bossy Construction. Amazing. Round of applause for that. You can stand up, Craig. Somebody might not know who you are. Okay, the last Rotarian in the spotlight I want to brag about, Mark Cool, please stand up. Mark Cool. Okay, this is true. I thought it was a joke at first, Mark. I mean, how do you make number 1 in Forbes magazine? Because you're Mark Cool. Mark Cool, that's how you do it. It is his business. He is the founder and CEO of Capitalist Planning Partners, number 1 on the Forbes list in his state. And Mark, I do want to verify, were you personally named number 20? In the whole country? That is true? Stand up. All right, thank you all so much. Best in state financial security professionals. So you're in good hands with Mark Cool. He will come up to the podium at the end of the meeting. We have a surprise for you all. All right, now, I want to invite to the podium Rotarian Renee Brown and Rotarian Rick Harnan, because Renee is going to share highlights from his recent trip to the Rotary International Convention in Taipei. So are you coming on up? Come on up here. There's no music that introduces y'all. Come on. Renee is CEO of RCB Health Corporation, Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee of Rotary, Vice Chair of Strategic Planning Committee, and Paul Harris, Fellow Plus One. Everybody go, ooh, ah. And then we got Rick Harnan. Rick Harnan is serving as the Assistant District Governor right now. He's got a whole bunch of us presidents he's responsible for, and he co-chairs Youth and Education, which has about 10 subcommittees. I don't know if you ever get to sleep, but thank you so much. He has been the Rotary International Service Above Self Award, Rotary International globally. That is amazing, as well as our club's Lifetime Service and Rotarian of the Year. He's also a major donor and a benefactor. So, Renee, you up first?
I'm up first. You want?
All right, Renee Brown.
I want to thank the Academy for this. I didn't expect this.
Microphone up. Okay.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
All right. The first thing I wanted to do is to thank, I wanted to take an opportunity to have you give yourselves a hand, a praise, a hand clap, or an applause. Can you do that? And I'm going to share with you why. I'm going to do better than that. I'm hard of hearing. The reason why I had you do that is because I had the dubious honor of representing our club at the annual International Rotary Convention in Taipei, Taiwan. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And it taught me just how close we are as a community internationally. But the other thing that it did is it humbled me to experience the things that they were thinking about, or some of the very things that we do here, and the people that I interacted with and touched were some of the very character and characteristics of the same people that we had. I will share with you that prior to me going out there, I had the honor of speaking with Rick and Marielle and Harnan and a few others, but they really took me out, set me down, and allowed me to go through that. So I just want to take just a few moments of your time to kind of explain that and talk about my journey. I actually wrote some things down, so bear with me as I read some of this. There are moments in life when you feel called to do something greater, when traveling thousands of miles become more than just a journey, but a profound step towards purpose. Attending the Rotary International Convention in Taipei, Taiwan, from June 13th to the 17th was exactly that kind of moment and experience for me. It wasn't just a gathering of Rotarians. It was a powerful reminder of what it truly means to live by the ideal of service above self. Starting from Louisville, my travel route took me to Los Angeles, then to Manila before reaching the vibrant heart Taipei. Each step was filled with anticipation, but nothing prepared me for the overwhelming sense of community, commitment, and a shared vision that filled the convention halls and the city streets. The Taiwanese people welcomed us with warmth that felt like home, like Rick. Felt like home. A sincere openness reflecting the very spirit of Rotary champions across the globe. Their kindness was a daily reminder that service transcends culture, language, and geography. When tens of thousands of Rotarians from over 160 countries assembled, that spirit becomes a powerful force for positive change. Taipei itself became a vibrant backdrop for this experience. Navigating its extensive subway systems, that's what I did, went all the way through their subway system. And they're very disciplined. I'm a military guy, so I love discipline, but they over-discipline discipline, which is awesome. My mornings often begin with hikes through the urban terrain, quiet moments that deepen my connection not only to the city, but also to the meaningful work ahead. I love to hike. Every country that I've been I've been to 36 countries, I always go for a hike. I didn't hike there in the mountains because I heard there are 46 species of snakes, 16 of them are poisonous. I stayed in the city. The convention was extraordinary. Over 37,000 Rotarians united by a single purpose to give their best, their very best, and their ultimate best of service to others got there. Just so that you know, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I was the only Rotarian from this magnificent club that attended.
They got Rotary right there.
But I had a wonderful experience, and that's why I spoke to Rick Harnett, I spoke to Mary Ellen, and I spoke to Barbara, and I spoke to many of you who gave me the guidance that I needed to represent you well. And hopefully I did. I actually came back, just so that you know, when I bought this coat, it had no medals on it. So I came back with my campaign ribbons, as I call them, you know, just to demonstrate all of the wonderful activities and ideals. And Rick actually helped me with this because he gave me a bag of pens and said, share these pens with others so that you can do an exchange. And as you can see, it was a great exchange. The other thing that I wanted to share with you very quickly is that I had an opportunity to wear some of the cultural garb there. And as you can see on the screen, there were some of the pictures that we taken. I had a 12th century Taiwanese garb on it, what they were wearing back in the 12th century. They had them on a hanger. I donned 2 of them. But as I was wearing it, a little young lady came up and said, "Mister, can I take a picture with you?" I said, "Yes." And then another young lady said, "Mister, can I take a picture with you?" And before I know it, I looked behind me and there was a line of people requesting because they obviously thought that I was part of the attraction, which I don't mind. Overall, it was a great experience. And they had some wonderful speakers. I want to mention just a few guest speakers that were there so that you can kind of get a handle on what was going on. Malala Yousafzai, she is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and one of the world's most prominent education activists hailing from Pakistan. She spoke about her issues, and then she talked about her stories of courage and determination, and she has dedicated her life to educating young girls and women. Natalie Emery, she's an inspiring speaker and leadership advocate who focused on personal growth, empowerment, and impact-driven work. She talked as well as Salome Awagaji, who brought a unique blend of art and activism as an acclaimed poet. All of them were talking about that, and our president, our international president, said, one thing, I'm done? Oh, okay. He talked about making sure that when we speak about Rotary, we talk about it as a neighborhood, meaning that the things you do here in America could echo in Africa or Central America. So believe that there are other people across the globe that are thinking the same thing. Thank you.
Very good. Renee, thank you so much. Thank you for taking that time. Thank you for your family for supporting you and taking that wonderful journey to represent all of us, which you've done oh so well.
Give this to our Rotary Club.
Oh, a presentation of flags to our club from Taipei. All right, now, Assistant District Governor Rick, would you please come for the flag exchange?
The Taipei Convention was the first one in several years that my wife and fellow Rotarian of the Year last year, Mary Ellen, and I did not attend. We've been to a lot of different conventions over the years, and they are all super inspirational. But we did have a chance this past June to visit Barcelona, Spain, which is where next year's international convention will be held. And I cannot recommend any more strongly that this will be a great one to visit. We visited a local Rotary club there, the Barcelona Mar Club. It's a small club, but they meet relatively close to the harbor where our cruise ship was docked, so that we could get there and meet some really nice Rotarians, including a young woman from Turkey who was visiting, including a young woman from Mexico who has moved to Barcelona and is going to join that club. Evidence of the internationality of Rotary. So I received and made an exchange of our flag with the Barcelona Mar Club, and I'm happy to present it to our President Barbara.
Thank you so very much. So fellow Rotarians, my hope is that during this year, as each of you travel to other cities and communities or just across the river or across town, that you will do a flag exchange. There was a time many, many years ago when we would have an entire banner rack set up to display all the flags that our club members would get from traveling around the world. All right, now I would like to invite to the podium. Let's see. Oh, yes, we already know about Barcelona. It's true, you can go if you want to go. You just need to talk with myself or Craig or Rick Harnard and we can help you figure that out. Craig, you really got your work cut out for you, buddy. It's 12:24. We're supposed to be finished with inductions of our new members in 2 to 3 minutes. That's not happening, but we're going to talk really fast. It's all yours, buddy.
Talking fast, my specialty. Okay. Would the following people please join me up front? Vanessa Koenigsmark, Heather Lowe, Elizabeth Martin, and Brian Warren. Fellow Rotarians, we seek to grow our membership so that we may not only increase our impact and influence, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout our community. You have been elected to membership in our club because we believe you possess qualities that will lead you to exemplify the true spirit of Rotary and our 4-way test. You have been admitted not only to one of the largest Rotary clubs in the world, but also to a global organization of over 45,000 clubs, where you will also be welcome at any time. Rotary membership adds value to those who engage, whether by attending meetings and events, or by participating in service projects or sharing your knowledge and talents, as we live out our motto of service above self. It is my honor to induct you and welcome you as a member of the Rotary Club of Louisville.
All right, now I'd like to invite the sponsors of these proposed members to please join them and stand next to your member. This means you, Deputy, you'll stand with Heather. Okay. All right, and Craig, I'll let you bring up the new members one at a time.
Okay. Vanessa.
So just, if you guys would present the pen to her, I'll snap a quick photo while you're doing that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vanessa Koenigsmark. I'm the interim president and CEO of Our Home. We're a community development loan fund serving Louisville, Jefferson County. We provide capital financing to communities, small businesses, homeowners who don't have access to capital through traditional financial institutions. I'm a longtime fan of Our Home. I've been a volunteer, previously served as the director of lending, and have been in this economic development space for a long time and really believe in the work that we're doing, and I'm excited to bring my experience to Rotary. Thank you to my sponsors for including me in Rotary, and I'm looking forward to, I'm sure, being convinced to join some committees and additional meetings, so thanks so much.
All right, so go to the end of the line by Rick. I need everybody to come this way. Heather Lowe, you're up next, and Melissa, you're going to take a pen and then hand one down to the next sponsor. All right, Heather Lowe, are you ready? Whoa, we dropped the pen.
Hi, if there's one thing I have learned in my short time in Louisville is that I can only ever aspire to be the second best person at introducing myself because our president has been doing it, and she will always make me seem smarter and cooler and more interesting than I actually am. But if she has not yet introduced you to me or me to you, I am the almost no longer new executive director of the Louisville Free Public Library. And if you know anything about libraries, very few people come to the library straightforward, and I am no exception. I studied art and writing and had an MFA and was thinking about being a professor, but that seemed, academia just seemed too political. So I chose libraries and now work for municipal government. Worked out great. But libraries are a wonderful place for me because above all, I am curious about people, motorcycles, art, everything. And I am just so excited to be included in this wonderful group of people. And if any of my various experiences along my way to the library, like snake docent, greyhound rehabilitator, apartment super, or skate park mentor, factor into your projects, please let me know. The one thing I can say is that if you ask me for a book recommendation as a librarian, and I tell you a book that you have heard of, I am lying, to be nice to you. I am actually reading something that's probably in Spanish, won a prize, or is about a harrowing story in a country far, far away. But I am so honored to be inducted into this wonderful group of people. Thank you.
Did she say snake docent? Okay, come on, y'all. Come on, walk up. Elizabeth Martin, it's your turn. You're going to be presented your pen by your sponsor, Joyce Seymour. Come on down, y'all. Come on, a lot closer. Got to pull in. All right, Elizabeth Martin.
Thank you, President Barbara. Yes, I'm Elizabeth Martin. I'm President and Chief Empowerment Officer at the Center for Women and Families. If you're familiar with how Kentucky has 120 counties and we're divided into regions, we are the KIPTA Region State Designated Program. We have been around as long as Rotary has, founded in 1912. We serve anybody and everybody who are survivors of domestic, intimate partner violence and sexual assault. Not the prettiest subject, but I'm glad that we're here because somebody knows somebody who's experienced that. We are a 24/7, 365-day program. Everything that we do is 100% free. And again, we serve anyone. Always here to have a conversation. I'm a longtime Louisvillian and social worker. So happy to know other folks here in Rotary that are doing similar work. And again, thank you to Joyce, a very dear friend of the center and a dear friend of mine.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, John, you can present your pen to Brian Warren. Brian Warren, and move on down. Let's go. And Rick, come on up. All right, there we go. Are we ready? You got your picture, Delene? Yes, Sam? We got. All right, let's go. All right, sponsors, you all may sit down. And Brian Warren, it's all yours.
Thank you, President Barbara. I'm Brian Warren. I'm the Executive Director of Educational Justice. But I know a lot of you through a lot of roles that I've served here in the Louisville community, either being the program officer at the Portland Museum, working as curator at the Speed Art Museum, working for Mayor Fisher in the Office of Globalization, and also being a VP at the Kentucky Center for the Arts. But my role now is Executive Director of Educational Justice. And it has a very special place in my heart, particularly as I accept this opportunity to work along with you in Rotary, because my organization has been the direct beneficiary of your largesse and your belief in community driving change for the benefit of everybody else. My organization provides, recruits high-achieving high school students. We train them to be mentors and tutors, and then we pair them one-on-one with high school students in the community. I'm sorry?
Middle school, right?
Oh, middle school, did I just say high school? So middle school students in the community. So here's the story. About 10, 11 years ago, Rotary heard from my founder, Moshe Ahayan. You at that time decided to invest around $20,000 in a little startup nonprofit. That nonprofit has grown from 22 pairs of kids in that first year to now over 350 pairs in the city of Jefferson, in Louisville and in Jefferson County. We've gone to a $1.5 million in operating budget, and we are beginning our expansion outside of Jefferson County into Shelby County and the counties around the Jefferson County area. So thank you very much. I look forward to working with all of you in our community.
All right, one more picture, scoot on down this way.
Get everybody. Awesome. You guys did a great job.
Okay, thank you all so very much, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Louisville. All right, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to invite to the podium one of the best darn presidents this club has ever known. All of you that were past presidents, stand up. All the past presidents, stand up, stand up, stand up. Oh my Lord. Okay. Well, I guess our most recent past president wants to do the speaker introduction. All kidding aside, Ken Salvaggi, one of the best darn past presidents we've ever had. Will you please introduce our speaker? Thank you, sir.
David Beck leads with professionalism and respect. As a deacon at Hurstbourne Baptist Church, on the executive board of the Kentucky Derby Festival, and serving on many other boards, Louisville Sports Commission, Louisville Tourism Commission, One Louisville, and Commission of Public Art. He makes an impact with many agricultural organizations, including the Louisville Agricultural Club, Kentucky Ag Council, 4-H, and FFA. David worked 41 years with the Kentucky Farm Bureau, serving many roles, including Director of Public Affairs and Chief Executive Officer. He served as President and CEO of Kentucky Venues for 8 years, up until a few weeks ago, operating the Kentucky Exposition Center and Kentucky International Convention Center. His teams produce more than 300 shows a year and signature events, like the Kentucky State Fair, North American International Livestock Exposition, and the National Farm Machinery Show. Under his guidance and collaboration, Kentucky Venues consistently set revenue records. He upgraded and expanded facilities at the Kentucky Expo Center through significant investments awarded by the Kentucky General Assembly. Key projects underway now showcase his vision to reimagine the facility use, bring together urban and rural communities, and preserve the rich tradition while adding enhancements for the future. Louisville Business First recognized David this year among their Power 50. Kentucky Electric Cooperatives honored him as the Distinguished Rural Kentuckian. His alma mater, Murray State University, recognized him as a distinguished alumnus, and the Murray State University Agricultural Alumni Association named him the Outstanding Agricultural Alumnus of the Year. David's a native of Lyon County, and he and his wife Nancy next year will be celebrating their 50th anniversary. They have 3 adult children and 7 grandchildren, the 7th, a 2-month-old, Hazel. Please welcome a fine gentleman, David Beck.
Again, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today, and I appreciate Ken. Got to know him many years ago through the Derby Festival, and quite a leader and quite an example. I always enjoyed visiting him and learning from him. It's kind of a walk down memory lane for me. My wife and I moved to this community in the late 70s. After we'd been in town about a year, I was a new fellow here in town with the Kentucky Farm Bureau, and I was invited to speak to the little Rotary Club. And I remember an officer from Fort Knox introduced me. I was pretty intimidated as a young kid and a young man here in this community. But I want to say this about you. Congratulations to your new members. You're joining a wonderful organization, a wonderful club, one with a rich tradition. What, 114 years plus, I guess you've been involved. And look at the service things you stand for. We need more of this in our community. We need more of these characteristics throughout our homes, our businesses, our community, government, and all areas. So I'm glad to see you join this group. I often evaluate organizations and service organizations. How valuable are they? If they did not exist, would they be missed? And I want to say, as a citizen of this community, even though I'm not part of your Rotary Club, if you did not exist, you would be missed. You've had impacts, you've heard examples already during this meeting today, but you continue to have an impact on people's lives, individuals, youth, and adults throughout the community. So thank you for what you do. We take that as something that's very important. And hopefully by your example, Harvey can continue to be that example for the next generation, continue this on for the next 100 plus years. That's important to that. Well, I was invited today to talk about economic development, maybe a little different perspective. I know a lot of speakers are humorous. I'm not real good at humor. I don't do a very good job with that. In fact, I don't know many jokes. I've made a few jokes. So you probably have too. I was talking to a class of college students a few months back in agriculture and tourism, and being an old man, they were talking about artificial intelligence. How's the impact going to be on agriculture? What impact is it going to have on tourism? And one of them raised their hand and they said, sir, how long has artificial intelligence been around? I thought a minute, I didn't know, so I said, I guess since we've had elected officials. All due respect, you might be in this room. But I want to talk a little about economic development from maybe a different perspective. And I'm going to use my life as an example. Prior to being in the role, I just finished being involved with for 8 years. If you ask me about economic development, I talk about how great it is, how important it is bringing jobs, new businesses, manufacturing, plants being built to our community. But over the last 8 years, I've learned another part of economic development. And even though I grew up in one of the smallest counties in Kentucky, I competed at the state fair through FFA as an adult and with Farm Bureau being a sponsor. Nancy and I and our family, we've attended probably every state fair since our grandchildren have been alive, and then we have many years prior to that. And I attended probably 8 to 10 shows a year at the convention center downtown and the exposition center. I didn't know about the other 280 and 300 that Ken made reference to a while ago. Just went on my radar. And I think about that. It's been an eye-opener to me. I retired. I was out of the country. We got back. They talked about me coming and doing this, and it took me a while to decide to do it. But I thought, yeah, I'll do it. It'll be a good transition. I was going to be there 2 years. I had no idea that I'd be there for 8. But I kind of drank the Kool-Aid, I guess some would say. I'm a big believer that you have to take care of your facilities. You got to take care of your people, or you can't take care of your clients very well. As I walked the properties and looked at it, our buildings were bad, needed repair, needed upgrades. And I use the example. I could clean my garage out this weekend, invite you over Sunday afternoon to visit, and you say, Beck needs to clean the garage out. You know, it looked pretty good to me, thank you. But really, it needed some attention. In all due respect, state government is not always the best example of how to take care of their people, quite frankly. With the private sector, there's things we could do for our employees, continuing education, opportunity benefits that the government just doesn't provide. And so those are things that became priorities of mine, because I realized the value of the clients. My goal was to meet pretty much with every client, either recruiting, while they're on the property, or follow up afterwards. And we try to go through a process from how a client was recruited, whether it be Little Tourism, Sports Commission, our shop, we were brought them in, till they got their invoice, and track that along the way, how we could evaluate and make that better. So seeing the opportunities, started setting some goals. And one of those goals was to bridge the gap with rural and urban people understanding each other. Because I believe there's a connection there besides just producing food and enjoying the food. There's a lot of interest there that comes by. I'll talk about that just for a minute. It's about it, and I will speak within my time frame. Your president, I wish I could model her enthusiasm. I know Barbara for many years as a leader in our community, from government, but also many other roles, and appreciate her enthusiasm. Pardon me. Ohio Valley allergies still are a factor for me. I think about how we do our clients, how we do that. As Ken mentioned, we'll have 280 to 300 events for our property a year. Between 4 and 6 million people walk through our doors every year. That's a lot of people. A lot of people. Estimated economic impact, something shy of $500 million on an annual basis. That's an economic engine. It really is. And how do we take care of that? How do we preserve that? How do we grow that? I have a client advisory committee. I did and when I was in that role. And every one of our clients' vision is to grow. And I'm old enough that I've been in ribbon cuttings of both those properties. I've seen them built, then I see them being in need of repair. And I watch the business grow. So much potential to do that. And to me, that's economic development. And I'll tell you some ways I think that it is. We host a lot of events. I'll talk about some of those in a moment, but the entertainment events we have in our town, the festivals in September, Beyond, Out of the Line, all the different basketball guests, all the different volleyball, trade shows, conventions. Last year, we had over 100 countries came through our doors. And I reached out to my good friend Jeff Knoll, the Economic Development Secretary. In fact, when the governor brought him back to Kentucky, I was so excited. I've known Jeff for 45 years. Him bringing his private sector experience back to Kentucky. So our gentleman back here, Ian Cox, and his staff, and Jeff, they talk and work together. How can we capitalize making connections? Because many of those people, we had every county in Kentucky represented, all 50 states, and over 100 countries on our property. Many of those people, their first visit to Kentucky may have been attending an event on our properties. The first time that they've ever been in Louisville may be attending one of the events on our properties. So how do we capitalize on that? How do we work with them? In fact, as they're talking, I can think of 2 clients that now have offices in our city that did not beforehand. That's economic development. There's another angle of that too. Pardon me. When you're recruiting employees, or you're trying to maintain retention of employees in our community, a community that offers that wide range of entertainment and events, opportunities to participate, that's a good way to stay in local, recruit people local. So I think it's good economically from that standpoint, besides the dollars that come into our city. So economic development is very much a part, I think, of what we do. And I try to advocate for that. It became obvious to me. I didn't think about that at first, but I see it now. But no one does it by themselves. I look here and I see Nicole George, Deputy Mayor, member of Metro Council, part of our facilities in her district, which she served as Metro Council, and now as Deputy Judge. I hear from Nicole probably once a week. What can I do to help you? The mayor, our mayor, being great, he and Rachel, they reach out weekly, either the mayor and I either have a conversation in person, by phone, or text. What can I do to help you, David? If I'm going to Frankfurt, he's going to Frankfurt. We'll compare notes. I don't think you mind me saying that. His ideas are how we grow our city. And I want to be a part of that. And he recognized our facilities are part of that formula. You come to town for a convention, a sporting event, maybe your child's playing basketball or volleyball. You got some time. What else you want to do? Look at the attractions we have here in town. Our museums. Aren't they wonderful? Wonderful things here we have to offer our community. The restaurants. So the Restaurant Association, Louisville Tourism, our attractions, the Hotel Association. All of these factors come into play. Some of you may remember we worked on Sundance, trying to recruit to Louisville, Kentucky. We came in, we had top 2 cities. I was so excited. When I first got in this role, I saw a lot of good communication, but I didn't see a lot of coordination. And as I walked through that process, I began to see people working together, collaborating, that maybe had not realized they've got something to offer, or we need that partner to get us to the finish line. And then we worked on the Olympics, and you saw the announcement a few weeks ago. for the Olympics to be here for the gymnastic trials. I, along with others, Mayor, Forest Commission, we've made several trips to Indianapolis and meet with them over several years. And now they're going to be in Louisville, Kentucky before they head to California for the main event. Isn't that something? We've got that here in our own backyard. Something, again, that's unique about Louisville. It puts us on the map. We had an Olympic event at Freedom Hall, and I was amazed at the national coverage of TV we received. And everybody I talked to, no matter where I go, in all 120 counties in Kentucky, everybody's got a Freedom Hall story. Everybody does. And sometimes I walk up to Freedom Hall by myself, and I think of Muhammad Ali fighting here, Elvis Presley singing here, performing here. You think about Billy Graham held one of his events there at Freedom Hall. The diversity of that property, you'd be amazed how many events now still use Freedom Hall. And in fact, the structure of Freedom Hall is in excellent condition, except cosmetically. We put new seats in Freedom Hall, new lighting, new sound system, heating and cooling, all the things you expect that you got to have. So we've upgraded Freedom Hall. I want to tell you how they came about. Looking at what we could do to upgrade our properties, so our existing clients can expand, grow, recruit new ones to our city, and we've had a lot of success stories. Getting from Orlando, Nashville, San Antonio, Las Vegas. I'm excited at the success our team have worked together with others to bring business to Louisville. I've had people cancel contracts and come earlier than what they planned to because they wanted to be a part of our facilities. I was meeting with a group a few weeks ago in Orlando, and that wonderful facility is almost too big, but you may have been there yourself, convinced. I've been to media events there. There was a group that was here in 2009, and quite frankly, they didn't have a very good experience. We've done a lot of research on that, and their leadership has reached out, and so they wanted me to come to the convention. I took a lot of photos, talked to them. I won't be involved in this role, helping recruit them. I may be involved behind the scenes, continuing those relationships. It takes years to build relationships. That this is not the same Louisville was in 2000. Look at our new facilities. Look at what we have to offer. Louisville has a lot to be proud of, and I say that to all of us as a community, as I was when I first got here. Sometimes we're too close to it to realize what we have. And we need to stop and think about that. And I encourage you to adapt that philosophy and do what you can to provide encouragement that we grow. Every one of those aspects is important for our community, for our own personal use. I was at a library a while ago. I got 7 grandkids. When we talked about, one of them had won a record, I think, for the number of books checked out over a year's time. Little things like that. And the other day, now I got more time on my hands. 2 of them stopped by the house, their mom brought them by. I got to read a book to them. And so, that's part of that connecting, that relationship. So let me go back to our facility. Let me tell you, we got that accomplished. And that's something I tell my staff team, previous staff team, not to take for granted. Chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee is from Northern Kentucky. The chairman of the House Appropriations Committee is from West Kentucky. We had wonderful support by the House and Senate. We had wonderful support for our House and Senators here in this town. We had wonderful support from our mayor and Metro Council that really reached out. What can we do? As a taxpayer, we put together a business plan, presented to the General Assembly administration. It didn't make their budget, but it made the General Assembly's budget. And as a taxpayer, I was very honest with them. I said, there's no return on investment. We shouldn't fund this. Let's analyze if it is. We need some dollars to grow Louisville's economy to benefit Louisville and the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And they did. They looked at it. The 2022 General Assembly, they appropriated money. 2024 session, they did again. Almost $500 million out of 2 budget sessions during the climate we're living in now. We could have finished both those new buildings with what we had, but inflation was catching up with us. We were about $27 million short of finishing the second building. The first building is 350,000 square feet. They'll get the keys to that in December this year. But once we get the keys to that one, we tear the one down from the old West Hall. You may be familiar with that exposition center. And we have a new building to take its place, about 250,000 square feet. Well, 5-year project. And this 5-year project, while this case was being litigated before the Supreme Court, so 5 years, we got a lot accomplished during that period of time. But anyway, the $27 million kept us from getting where it needed to be. It's like ordering a new vehicle many years ago, my generation. You add that on now, or you try to add it on later. It's more economical to do it now. And so we thought about that as a team and said, if we don't get that change now, it'll be a generation before we do it again. So we went to the General Assembly and they earmarked another $27 million. So the second building can be what it needs to be, space-wise, but also the appearance of it. And what's needed to take care of today's clients. The expectation of the client, just like your preferences, has changed. The expectation is very high. So I'm very proud and very excited that the General Assembly recognized the impact that those two facilities have on Kentucky and funded those dollars to make that happen. As members of this community, hope you take some pride in that too. But we want to see those programs continue to grow and develop to benefit a lot of people. This is my second time being on campus this week. I work with the with the university, their equine program, but also their tourism program. Excited about that. And we need that for our workforce. I see our president over here, and my time is wrapping up. Let me just say this. Depends on whose numbers you're looking at, tourism in Kentucky is about $13 to $14 billion on an annual basis. A third of that comes out of Louisville. 78% of the hotels occupied in this town, in this region, come from those two properties. So KEC and KIC are economic development. And I just want to share that with you because a few years back I didn't know that. So I just want to share that with you, encourage you to be an advocate for our community, be an advocate for all the different components that serve tourism. Agriculture and tourism are economic development. In fact, there's one show, of all the 283 we do annually, there's one show that's 20% of the operating income of both properties on an annual basis. Now, what would you think that might be? Anyone care to guess? Farm Machinery Show, State Fair, about 600,000 people, and we have in every county every year. I still not go there. The Farm Machinery Show, 4 days, over 300,000 people. This past February, we had a waiting list of 978 exhibitors want to get in. Didn't have space for them. 978 we had to say no to. But these new buildings will take care of that in the future, or they will. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Hope this has been some value to you, and I'll be glad to address any questions.
All right, we're all going to the Farm Machinery Show next year. All right, your fellow Rotarians, make your way to the microphone, and as it states in my script, I want you, Julie, you're going to lead the way. You state your name, all right, and your question, and then you take your seat. All right, no speeches, because then we're going to let David answer a few questions, so then we bring up announcement for next week's speaker. David, here comes your first question.
Julie, good to see you, friend.
Hi, Julie Schmidt, and thank you so much for your leadership and your service on so many levels. I just came in from Frankfurt. They had an economic development meeting this morning, and I was just curious. One of the members talked about tourism, that the state needed to invest more. Just would like to get your thoughts on that, how Kentucky ranks, and what should we be doing rather than what we're doing currently in the area of tourism.
Well, I would give anybody advice, thanks for the question, I'd give anyone advice that there are so many needs in the Commonwealth. You've got to set priorities. So I would encourage, and I've had groups, other agencies, come ask me how we got our appropriations. Get a good business plan. Show return on investment. For example, I'm a big believer in state parks. We have wonderful state parks in our state. Back in college, farming on the farm and working there Sunday night, I was involved with state parks, work parties nights and weekends. They have about 100,000 people on an annual basis. Very good, they need to be taken care of, but you got to value the return on investment. So if you invest dollars here, what's going to be the most bang for Kentucky long term? So have a good business plan, indicate what you think you need and how it's going to benefit how you're going to grow Kentucky's economy.
Cliff Elgin, 25 years ago I was working with a major national organization, asked them, come to Louisville, good location, etc. They said they used to meet here every year. They didn't anymore because of union problems. The executive director said the straw that broke the camel's back was that the union filed a complaint against an exhibitor for carrying an oversized briefcase to his booth. Has that changed?
Well, sometimes it has more to do with the individual than it does the organization. For example, I experience occasionally those kind of conversations, particularly from our rigging and all. Safety has to be first and foremost. And you got to have certified, trained people doing the job. But somebody may want to drive one of our front end loaders and somebody else not trained to do that properly. So that is an ongoing issue. And that is one of the things many players look at, the cost of doing business. So labor fees are part of doing that. See, what your rental space for a booth at trade show is a factor. But what's your major expenses? Travel getting here, buying that booth, staffing it, hotel rooms, and food. So the overall expense to have a trade show booth, the rental space is minor compared to the overall. That's a factor, but there's so much more expense involved with that than just the rental space.
All right. All right, David Beck, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, Nancy, for being here. Congratulations again on that 50 years of total blissful marriage. So, David, as our second speaker of this current fiscal year of Rotary, as your president, I would like to present you with an official challenge coin. It has the four-way test, and it has an emblem of Paul Harris, our founder, who put this whole idea together to bring you here in 1905. So, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Fellow Rotarians, it's now the surprise I promised you early in the meeting. You know, during the last year, one of my responsibilities designated by one of the best darn presidents this club ever had, Ken Salvaggi, my role was to introduce in an informative, humorous, fun, entertaining, we're setting the bar, buddy, way, the next week's speaker. And I was supposed to come in and maybe up the energy at the end of the meeting. Okay, Mark Cool, I want to see if you can up my energy, buddy. Give him a round of applause.
This feels a lot like trying to replace John Wooden at UCLA. It's like, yeah, if you could just bring some more energy than Barbara. Next Thursday, during this 250th year of this wonderful experiment that is America, we're going to have Joe Alexander and Drew Height. And you may be asking, who in the hell are Joe Alexander and Drew Height? Well, they are with the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution, and they are going to give a talk called The SAR and the Future of America's Story. For those of you who don't know or have never been down there on Main Street, it's phenomenal, but the Sons of the American Revolution is headquartered in Louisville and has spent 135 years honoring Revolutionary War patriots, promoting education about America's founding, and they're going to share all about SAR's history, programs, national impact, while providing a first look at the upcoming SAR Education Center and Museum, a landmark addition to Louisville's Museum Row. Sounds like economic development to me, David. And a new resource for visitors, students, and researchers. There is another large event here in the ballroom next week, so if you show up and you think, man, I don't recognize any of these people, it's not because you're old, it's because you're in the wrong room. So we are going to be in the main dining room. Barbara wants us to switch tables every week, and I didn't listen the first 2 weeks, so she put me at the president's table, so I would recommend switching tables, so you'll be doing announcements. Please make sure to RSVP by Monday at noon. She's tenacious too. I was busy and not picking up the call. She sent a text that said, "Is this still your cell phone?" It's a pretty intense way to get somebody to call you back. And it's so funny if I said, "No, but I'd love to talk to you about your car's extended warranty." Please RSVP by Monday at noon. That's a hard and fast deadline for the, office to not have to chase you around, or scan the QR code on the screen right now to register.
Okay, and I'm going to reiterate what Mark said about using the code and scanning or letting Tracy or Delene know before noon on Monday if you're going to come next week, because can y'all look around the room? We have standing room only. There's proof in the back because we ran out of some seats. Now, that's great news, but there were quite a few of y'all that didn't RSVP. I take full responsibility for that, Delene and Tracy, because everywhere I go all week, whenever I see Rotarians, I say, "Oh, I hope you're coming Thursday." And they say, "Oh, I didn't do that thing." And I said, "What thing?" And they said, "I didn't RSVP." And I said, "It's okay, come on and come to the meeting." So, it's a rodeo. That was for you, David. David, I love that rodeo. And I've been in that golden ring tip rodeo, golden steer lassoing thing, and I didn't win. Okay. All right, just remember, I really do want everybody to get comfortable with DAC-DB on your phones or your laptops. It's the greatest thing that's happened to me all year with Rotary, because I can find any of y'all anytime I want to, figure out what committees are doing what and so forth, or go to LouisvilleRotary.org. It is the coolest website. Our team is so great at keeping that thing loaded up with all this information, social events, things going on, committee work, and so forth. All right, now, social media, everybody, remember there's Facebook, there's X, there's Twitter, there's YouTube, what else is it? There's so many things. Instagram, there you go. And we'd love for y'all to take photos. Okay, I'm gonna try something, and then we're gonna ring the bell. Okay, everybody pull your phones out. Those gizmos that I said, turn them off and put them away. Okay, you got them? Now, we're going to try to set a record on the number of photos that we can post, and I'm going to try to take a selfie of me with all y'all. Okay, everybody smile. Oh, y'all look so good. Now, wait. Take those phones. Take a selfie with somebody next to you. I'm serious. Do it. On your mark, get set. Go. Some people don't know what a selfie is. Oh, this is hilarious. I should take pictures. Take a selfie. If you don't want to take a selfie, take a picture of your table. Okay. I'm just saying. All right, now, if you're trying to remember what table you sat at this week, take a picture of the table where you are and sit somewhere different. All right, let's see. Don't forget what is Rotary over here. Go over there, check it out. Meeting is adjourned.